You want energy? We have it today. Mike Wiant is with Shelby American Fox Factory. Yes, that Shelby. This guy has a cool job, and better yet, he is also the Ohio field manager for the ASE Education Foundation, visiting auto programs at high schools and colleges, working to connect education with industry. Mike, welcome to the Fixed Ops Mastermind.
Thanks so much for having me on, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
It's great to have you here. Take a couple of minutes and introduce yourself, and then we'll get straight into the wisdom.
Yeah. I kind of I kind of fell into the industry by accident, but I've been in the industry about 15 years. Uh, I don't even know it really kind of blows me away of why I'm here, but it's taking me this long to kind of really figure out what my purpose is. And I tell you, I'm having a lot of fun, and I feel like I'm making a big impact. I've got a few different roles going on, which I'm sure we'll get into. I kind of feel like I have a dream job in the industry. I work with one of the most iconic performance brands in
Yeah.
automotive. I'm a regional sales manager. So I'm not on the on the service side at all. Yet I figured that my passion though is helping and exciting the next generation of technicians.
Hmm.
And the funny thing is I'm not techie at all. Like I've never wrenched. I'm not a gearhead. I really can't talk, like even around all the Fox and Shelby guys. Like I really can't talk performance. I kind of fake it a little bit, but but my excitement and my energy and I just like the product, and so it really all
Hmm.
just works out. And I really do feel blessed for so many reasons, and really I'm just excited to be here and talk a little bit about it, and hopefully excite and encourage and motivate people in the industry to kind of get out and do a little more and to
Yeah.
help the next generation. So
Yeah, that's awesome, and we're excited that that automotive found you.
yeah,
That's
thank you.
for most of us at some point. It was not necessarily a chosen career, but it
Yeah,
chose us, and we stuck with it. So.
yep, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
So as we get into this, the show is broken into three segments. In this week, segment one is another career path. Segment two is getting the youth involved, and segment three, we're going to talk about the future is bright. So segment
right.
one, another career path. Uh, what has you excited about the industry?
Um, I just think it's really incredible, and it's it's an industry that that's changing at a blistering pace. Like
Mhm.
it amazes me, the things and the technology. So really, for me, I think it's the technology that and I'm blessed to have what I have, and with Shelby, and I drive a Shelby F-150, and yesterday, coming back from Detroit, I went up to Detroit to visit some dealerships. On the way back, the truck drove itself, and oh my gosh, like I don't know how we as a culture are really going to accept that, because
Yeah.
it's weird. In the and it's in I just got a new truck, and so it's got, Ford has I think it's a 90-day trial on it, and it's driving itself, and it's changing lanes, and I'm like blown away, and I'm like, this is so cool. And oh my gosh, how do we get every student that has interest in automotive, how do we get them behind the seat of something like this?
Yeah.
Right. And so the industry is changing. um, there's tons of new manufacturers, new OEs out there that a
Hmm.
lot of people haven't even heard of, that I discover every day. And so really it's how the technology and how it's changing fast, and it's cool. So that's what really gets me excited about the industry.
Yeah, it really is moving at at an industry that is slow to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some rapid changes coming through, and as you said, it's exciting to see other people getting into the manufacturing of vehicles as we go along, right? For
Yeah.
the longest time, it was, we had all the normal players that were in there,
Right, right,
right?
and yeah, so now there's new companies. Like it seems like, and some are having a hard time making it, and some aren't, and but just all that I think really adds a whole nother element to the industry. But what also excites me, Dave, is the opportunity on the service side.
Hmm.
That's what I really get excited for. The next generation of service of technicians, they have nothing but opportunity.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's a void, right? There's a lack of technicians. So you've got that, like there's tons of openings, and then there's new manufacturers. So there's like new products and new technologies and new
Yeah.
electrical stuff. And so, man, these kids are lucky, I feel, to be coming into it at this time, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to look very, very different in the next 5 years than it
Yeah.
has over the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you kind of fell into this.
Yeah.
How did you end up in with
So
this career?
so and I'll try to sum it up shorter because it's really really a long story, but I'm kind of breeze through it. So I was in high school and really, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this. I was in high school and really didn't apply myself. Barely got through high school, struggled, and kind of thought that I was stupid, like dumb, and couldn't remember things really, and didn't do. I was a horrible test taker. So you add that, and then I was expected to go to college, because that was the where I grew up, and my family, and both my parents went to college, and so I won't get into the whole details of this, but I accidentally got into college. Okay, and that's the truth. Like the college made a mistake. I have actually proved they made a mistake, and so, but that's a story for another day. So I got into college, barely. I would never open books. After three and a half years, I failed out. And when you fail out of college, they send you a letter that says you better take a year off, or minimum of a year, and then come back and then re-interview with the dean. And so I did that. I left the country. I went and grew up, learned another culture, learned another language, came back, got my degree, um, went out to California, lived the beach life in Manhattan Beach. Started a company. I basically got an MBA in reality. Okay. And then came back to Ohio and got into real estate. And then was it 2007, 8 or whatever, the market crashed,
Hmm.
and I was newly married, and my father-in-law looked at me and he said, "What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And so he was a GM guy. So he worked for General Motors. He did a lot of different things in the industry. His dad, so his father had a Pontiac dealership in Akron, Ohio.
Hmm.
And this is way before me though. And so my father-in-law worked for like OnStar, and so he was a big automotive guy, and I was not. And he goes, "I think I can get you an interview with Ford." And I go, "Ford? Cars?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I don't like cars." And he's like, "Yeah, but it's a really good sales job. I think you'll do well. You love sales, and they give you a demo." And I go, "A demo? What's that?" He goes, "Well, basically, it's a free vehicle to drive." And I'm like, "Ooh, okay." That's what caught my attention.
Yeah.
And so the position was with Ford Accessories, and Ford. Uh, the job role was to go into all the local Ford dealerships and help them sell more Ford accessories.
Hmm.
So I was in the sales. I'd walk into the front end of the dealership, talk to sales, train them on how to present accessories, make sure the parts department knows how to order them, and make sure service knows how to put them on. And that's that, Dave. That's where I learned the whole dealership,
Yeah.
and I just really enjoyed it. and took it on as a challenge, and then kind of climbed the corporate ladder and did well and matured and grew up. And a dealership group recruited me away and said, it was a group that had 6 Ford dealerships, and they
Mm.
said, we want you to train our sales. We want your energy. Okay.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
want you to train our salespeople on the vehicles. I said, great. And then they said, the other half of the time, we want you to go find technicians. And I go, well, how do you
Us?
do that? And they go, this is no lie, write the playbook, figure it out. But there's a huge demand.
Okay.
And they were ahead of their time, I feel like, because and as I went out and met people, they're like, "That's your job role? Oh my gosh! Like, this is great. This dealership gets it." And um and so then I did that, and oh my gosh, what I discovered, it was great. And then COVID hit, and so
Mm.
that was a year and a half after this job role, and I got laid off. But during that time, I met a guy with Shelby American. And after March of 2020, sitting around drinking coffee till noon, on my patio, right? Everyone, no one's working, and then all of a sudden, the guy from Shelby called, and I told him I was laid off, and he said, "Great, I need someone to help me cover Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana." Anyways, and I just fell into that role, but as an independent contractor with that, I realized, oh my gosh, I can continue my passion in finding technicians and just helping the industry.
Hmm.
So that's how I got into it in a nutshell.
It's a terrific story. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, so tell us about your new role that
Yeah.
you have.
So with ASC, for years, whenever I walk in a shop, I see the ASC badge, right? Their
Yep.
logo, and didn't know much about it at all, except for its accreditation. And about a month or two ago, I was on another podcast, and one of the vice president of the Education Foundation listened to the podcast, and she liked what she heard and my energy, and just, it's such a unique thing what I do with these kids, Dave. On a regular basis, like every week, I will try to go in between maybe 1 and 3 high school automotive classes.
Hmm.
Think out, like, so back up a little bit. About 5 years ago, when I walked out in my garage, and there's $140,000 Ford Shelby F-150 in my garage, okay? And I'm telling you, it was like a moment that I had, and I've got deep faith in God, and it was definitely a spiritual moment. And it was like this. It was like I I slap myself and I go, what a shame if this truck doesn't go where it needs to go. And it
Yeah.
just hit me of, God gave me this as a tool. Go show the kids. The kids need to see this stuff because
Yeah.
they never will,
Yep.
right? They're never going to go to a dealership and walk in and ask, "Hey, can I get inside this vehicle?" or whatever it is. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to take this thing every week and bring it and show it off." And so with the podcast, so Virginia, her name is, so she heard it, called me and said, "Oh my gosh, I am the vice president of the Education Foundation, and we need a field manager in Ohio, and what you're doing is what we need." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So we talked, and it was like, it was perfect because it just gives me a little more of a reason or a purpose
Yep.
to go into the school, because you know all for 6 years now I've been connecting education with industry, and now I'm just doing it a little different, and I'm helping ASE, and it truly is a perfect kind of marriage, I think. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love that. Super, super important to be getting out into the schools to get the youth involved,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is what segment 2 is all about, getting the youth involved.
Hmm.
This segment is brought to you by Parts Edge. Your parts department is the backbone of your dealership and is responsible for nearly half of your total profits according to NADA. Our system works within your DMS, for a hybrid approach that combines the precision of automation with the nuanced decision making of parts experts. While you're out there, what are you seeing from the schools and the shops?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. I mean, really, it is. I guess and I am really optimistic. I'm a positive person. Okay, so you got to know that. Um, but what I'm really seeing is there's a huge void. I mean, there is nobody, Dave. There's a handful. And this is in, I guess, I will say though, this is in Northeast Ohio, right? So I don't know how it is everywhere. And now with ASC, I'm going to be, which is really cool, I'm going to be discovering and visiting schools all over the state now. And
Awesome.
so, but right now, in Northeast Ohio, there's really not many people getting into the schools.
Yep.
And I'll just give you one example. I have a high school automotive program that is literally, Dave. Okay, literally adjacent. They connect to a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership. Okay, they literally and it's I almost feel this is for a reason. They're literally their land connects. And last year I went over to the GM and the service director and I said, "Have you ever been next door?" And they said no. And I'm like,
No.
"Oh my gosh, really?" So I brought them over. Dave had a good time. Really exciting. Both parties were having a good time. Like, this is going to be a good arrangement, good partnership. And it's been 12 months, and they've never been back. And I don't want to, like, I don't want to be be harsh on people and stuff, but and I get it, right? Because these that they've got their busy jobs, right? The service director and a GM. And so I want to say I understand, but it has to change. It,
Hmm.
it truly does. And so what am I seeing out there? I'm seeing, I don't see really many people from the outside from the industry.
Yep.
And I see kids and I see instructors. Oh my gosh, these instructors are dedicating they they're doing it because they love to teach. They want to help. It's not the highest paying job, uh, and so I see incredible instructors. And I mean
Yeah.
guys that are really going above and beyond. And then I see students that want to learn. Yeah, are there knuckleheads in the program? Sure there are, right? And some that shouldn't be in there, but all in all, there's a lot of good kids that want to grow, they want to learn. Um you, you know, so there's a huge void. There's so much potential for the dealerships. And so I'm just excited to be a part of it. And I found a little niche, and I enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrific. And the instructors out there, they really are, most of them, very very dedicated people.
Yeah.
The the Ford program near me is taught by a guy who's been a friend for
Yeah.
30 years now. He was one of my technicians at a Ford store, and then at an Acura store that I was at, and then
Well,
he worked
Dave,
at
I didn't
another Ford
I
store
didn't
with
know you were
me.
Ford. I didn't know you liked Ford.
My career started as a Ford asset student.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
learning to be a technician, and then learning I'm not a good technician. Uh, so I always joke that Ford asked me to stop working on their vehicles. And then I moved over to being a service advisor and worked my way up from there. But yeah, I
Okay.
started with Ford, and the last store that I ran before I jumped to the partner side of the business was
Yeah.
another Ford store.
Okay.
And this guy came and worked with me there as a technician there. So I started with him as one of my technicians and ended my career with him as one of my technicians. And then
That's
after
great.
I left, he took over the Ford program at the local college, and he's one of those guys. Just the kids realize like how lucky they are to have him there,
Yeah.
and to be to be teaching them this business, a guy who just is super super passionate about the
Yeah.
the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Passion. I love it.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah.
So what do you think of some of the ways that we can think out of the box
Yeah.
to start
Yeah.
getting more students involved?
You know, it, I think, I think there's probably hundreds of ways that we as an industry can do things, implement new things, try new things. I don't think there is any one like silver bullet to do. Um, Kind of like health and fitness, right? Like everybody wants the one pill, right? Like and and oh my gosh, like what is it? What is it? Well, it's not. It's resistance training, it's cardio, it's eating good, right? It's mental, it's spiritual, like and so that's kind of how I look at this. And so what it's do what you can with what you have. Okay? So for me, um I'm blessed to have a Shelby truck, right? It's an incredible vehicle. And so it was last year, and I remember sitting there and saying, like, as I was driving the truck one day, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if a student, a high school student, could drive a Shelby to school day? And it dawned on me, and I went home and told my wife, oh my gosh, I got a great idea. It's out of the box. She's like, what? I'm like, drive a Shelby to school day. I'm going to start rewarding good high school students. And she's like, you're nuts, you know? And I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to be in the passenger seat. And and uh and so I started it last spring. I'm going to continue it this fall, like one every spring and every fall. And I chose a student and allowed him to drive to. I went to his house, early in the morning, picked him
Yep.
up. He got to drive it to school. Actually, he went to the automotive class, and then we hung out there. And then he drove it from there into town. And we went, basically, it's a way for me to mentor and kind of hang out with
Yeah.
these kids and just really be a good role model. And so, but oh my, and it's on my Instagram. Ohio Tech Group is the reel, which if you haven't seen it or whoever's listening should definitely go watch it. What a blast! I mean, you got a 17-year-old kid, right, just driving and having a blast, like it was his own vehicle. And then most recently, I got a new truck. And I thought, wow, what about take delivery of a Shelby F-150? And so instead of me going to the dealership and picking it up, which
Yep.
I've done a lot, I brought another high school student and allowed him to experience what it's like. And
Mm.
so imagine walking into a really nice Ford dealership. They open the front doors, welcome, to the dealership. He it was like a job shadow for him. So he got to experience meeting everybody in the dealership. And I mean everybody. I mean
Yep.
all the salespeople, sales managers, administrative people back in the office that do a lot of the paperwork and title work, and then
Yeah.
parts department. We walked behind the parts department. Then we went into the service area. He got to hang out with the technician, with actually my Shelby technician. Then he went and sat with me in F&I. And as I was signing papers, he got to
Yeah.
sit next to me like it was him. And then he got to go out, and we got in the truck, and he drove away with me. He was in the driver's seat,
That's
and
awesome.
all this we're getting the school to say okay, and the parents to say this is okay,
Yep.
for my son or daughter to do it. But
Yep.
so Dave, it's like, thinking of things, right? And just because I have that, it allows me to do these kind of unique things that are just but really it's how do we get kids uh, in the vehicles?
Yeah.
How do we get them? Once this is like four years ago, when Ford kind of rolled out, I think it was an Explorer. I had like what do they call it? Park assist. Okay,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
so and there was different, but which by the way they're getting rid of because no one's using it. So which is funny because no one uses it, and
Yeah.
but what a cool it's in theory an awesome technology.
Yep.
Yet no one in the real life is going to use it. But Dave, I brought it to a high school automotive class. We were in the parking lot. We had cones, and I got every student in the driver's seat, and so how this worked was. While you were holding a button, pushing a button down, the car would steer and accelerate and brake into a parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids were blown away. It's kind of like hands-free driving, but in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And so, if you were to go ask the instructor, he would say that was the most impactful demonstration that he's ever had, because the students could actually feel and touch and actually operate that technology. So that was really cool, Dave. It's unlimited what people
Yeah.
what like dealerships could be doing, and like
Mm-hmm.
events and gatherings, right? And donation. I mean, there's so much that we can be doing as an industry. I'm just trying to do a little bit,
Yeah.
and hopefully I motivate and inspire some other people to continue to do things.
Yeah, but I love these ideas. And the next question I was going to ask you was, how can
Yeah,
we implement something today to help? But you just went through some things that we can do,
yeah,
literally do today,
correct.
to do that. And it's not something that costs the dealership any money to do that, to attract technicians, right? Like you said earlier, like it's really busy and they haven't been back to the school, right? Well, how
Yeah,
busy are they going to be when they don't have technicians to
right.
work on the cars because they didn't take the time?
I don't know if general managers and owners don't understand, or if they're not thinking maybe 2 or 3 steps ahead. But imagine this, okay? And this is totally reality. So let's say you as a dealership, okay, and this is for all the dealership people that are listening. Let's say that if you're, and by the way, and I should have said this from the get go. I like all brands, all OEs.
Mhm.
I'm Ford biased. I'll tell you that. I'm Ford biased, but every manufacturer makes an incredible product. Okay, Stellantis,
Yeah.
GM, and then you go on, like one of my favorite is Lucid Motors. The all electric
Mhm.
Lucid, kind of high end. You got Tesla, you got Rivian, all make incredible product. But imagine you're a dealership, and you do something different, whatever. Even if you just bring them a cool vehicle and you let a high school student get in it, feel it, touch it, get them excited, and connect with that individual. That child, that student, is probably going to go home and tell mom and dad.
Right.
Okay, mom and dad. Oh my gosh, the general manager of this Dodge dealership came in today. It was so cool, 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 cool. Right? Mom and dad are probably going to need a vehicle that year.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I would sure think they're probably going to take it to that dealership, right? And then all of a sudden, now the GM, or they sold a vehicle, and so that's a little shorter game, because the technician recruiting, the technician developing, that's long game. It
Yes.
is, right?
Yep.
That's 1 year to 10 years, and but that parent that goes and buys a car in 2 months is kind of short game, and it's money, and it's like, I just don't get why they don't understand how
Yeah.
everything can just help each other and help the
Yeah.
dealership. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Ed Roberts from Bozard Ford,
Mhm.
uh, he has a phrase that I love, which is, "We want to own the garage." Right? So he always says, I don't care if that they have an Explorer and then they have two Toyota Tacomas. I want the Toyota Tacomas coming here too. I want to
Yeah.
own that garage, because eventually those need to be replaced, and I'll turn them over to Ford, right?
Yeah.
And then he
Yes.
gets that business too. Or he sells them a used Toyota if
Yeah.
that's what they prefer. But either way, he has their service business coming to him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's that same type of thing. You've got to build those relationships,
Yeah.
to create that value in the
Yes.
future.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed.
All
Yeah.
right. So segment 3, the future is bright. This segment is brought to you by Automotive Warranty Network Incorporated, family owned and operated claims management service based out of Denver, Colorado. They currently process more than 100 million in warranty per month. Where do you think we need to start to correct the labor shortage of technicians?
Elementary schools.
Mm, that far back.
Oh yeah. It is in my Instagram, one of the reels. I got invited last spring to come to an elementary school, and that's, again, it was another light bulb that went off. And if you watch the reel, it's hilarious, because these kids are so innocent, they're so fun, and again, they will blow you away with what they even know about automotive. Like,
Mhm.
and so these kids our industry needs to plant the seed in these elementary kids. And obviously because you're planting the seed in the child as well as the parent, because the child probably is going to go home and tell the parent. And so I really feel that to me that's a huge niche. Now, I will say, David, that I enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand why a service manager or somebody, anybody in the dealership might not really like want to go into schools because they might not really like it or enjoy it or feel comfortable.
Mhm.
So I do. And so in elementary school, oh my gosh, it was like I was at I don't know, second, third, and maybe fourth grade, or I think is who I had the age level, and I had my truck, and there was this one kid, and he goes, this is like a fourth grader. He goes, "Are those 35-inch or 37-inch wheels?" And I'm like, holy cow. He goes, that's not a stock suspension system. And I'm like, holy cow, this kid knows what he's talking about. Like, and but I would say every other child had no clue that
Yeah.
what was what,
Yep.
right? But and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get into these elementary schools as much as possible. And again, and the school loved it. They loved my energy, my excitement. It was fun. I'm fun to, and I sync well with kids.
Yeah.
And what also helps, Dave, is I'm 53 years old. I kind of look like I'm 30 and I dress like I'm 15. Okay. And so like I am a hoodie, I'm a t-shirt, I'm a hat, I'm all branded, right? Like I'm a branded guy. I've got Dodge t-shirts, I've got, Ram, I've got them all. Okay. Of course, I've got a heck of a lot more Shelby and Ford, pieces
Of
of
course.
apparel and jackets. But so elementary schools, right? In middle schools, we have to get in to get to these kids when they're young to get them before the other industries plant the seed and pull them
Mhm.
away from our industry.
Yeah.
Um, so
Com
and also the sizzle. So I in my local school district, the high school and middle school career specialist is what she's a guidance counselor, right?
Yeah.
But she's a career specialist is what her title is. And so she asked me last year, she said, would you come in to the 8th grade class with me and introduce the career center? Okay. So now, when they go in as a freshman, they're going to get introduced to it again. And as a sophomore, and then they can go into the career center, right? For these careers as a junior and a senior. But in our school system, they introduce it in 8th grades just to try to plant the seed, right?
Mhm.
And this obviously is not just automotive. Obviously, this is when she asked me to come in, it was, hey, I need your energy, I need your excitement, and I need you to help me introduce it. And so, oh my gosh, that was 2 full days. Okay, 11 different classes. Okay, you got
Wow.
250 8th grade students, and so I had to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over and over. But but, but what it was what I was doing was putting sizzle on the trades,
Mhm.
because hey, I am just as guilty as anybody else. Our culture has given these trades careers a stigma, right?
Yes.
And it hasn't been good.
Yep.
And for what is it? I don't know, 75 years now, whatever it is. I don't know how many years. We as a culture have been saying, don't get your hands dirty. It's better to have an office job. And so the stigma is a huge thing to try to overcome. And so she invited me in to the 8th grade class, and I just talked about how cool all these potential careers are. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I said, if I could do it over again, this is probably the truth. I would like pick a trade. I don't care, but to me, I think I would have done construction because I love the way wood smells. Okay. You go to a job site and they got saws going and there's sawdust in the air, and I'm like, oh, it smells like this smells good, man. It's and nail guns, and I would have learned a trade and dominated at it, and then started taking business classes.
Yeah.
There was I'm having some things done to my house, and there's an electrician that came over the other day, and he rings the door. The front doorbell rings. I walk to the doorbell, and he didn't look like I thought he was going to look. Dave, he was polished. He was young. He looked like he had his act together. And I'm like, wow. Like, and I looked at him, and he's probably like, what's this guy? And I'm like, we need to see more of you, like to try to help get rid of this stigma. And
Yeah.
so there are so many I just feel like we need to show the youth a better view of what it's like to be an electrician, to be a technician, right? Like,
Mhm.
let's not paint it anymore to be dirty and grimy. Yeah, you get your hands dirty. That's a good thing to get your hands dirty.
Right.
And yeah. And so, so like, just going back to, I guess, the 8th grade class. So I put a lot of sizzle and excitement, and I feel, and she felt that they really did see it maybe, from a different perspective, and that it is a cool thing.
Mhm.
And so really it's I think just it's everybody trying to talk more positive, and like I say, like, sizzle it, which is just excitement,
Yep.
and make it cool, I guess. Yeah.
That's
So,
terrific. So, when you go in and you're talking to the youth, what is it that you see from them that makes you optimistic about them getting into the trades and the future?
because they're in and it, these kids are just, they're innocent, and they don't even know what they want to do, and so they're like open-minded, and I just think, as like, and in today's time, they like, here's my device, right? My smartphone. These kids have every anything they want to know,
Yeah.
and we have no clue. I hate when I hear, "Oh, kids today don't want to work, and they don't." That's garbage. Every generation's got lazy knucklehead kids, right?
Yep.
And and so these kids have everything. They have so much more than we and that we ever did, and they have all this knowledge on their device, and they're still innocent, and and I hate how our culture says to a high school student, I have a daughter who's a senior, right? And if you ask any of her friends, it's the dreaded question: what are you going to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Dave, I'm 53. At 45 or whatever 40, I fell into automotive.
Yeah.
I just got into my career, right? And
Right.
so what I'm seeing, excited kids that do want to learn. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's, it's not everybody, but it's the majority of them, I feel, are talented, and they just need to be exposed. And
Yeah.
I, you know, there are so many different, like, categories of automotive, and I use
Yeah.
the word category, like,
Yep.
ho- like like what I do, their performance side.
Mhm.
But think about it. Like, okay, you've got Shelby American, you got Roush, right? You got Saline, Hennessy. There's like, let's say, 10 or 12 of those, but that's really, really a small niche. But
Yes.
but the kids need to see that if they want to go there, they can go there. And
Yeah.
and so, like, all these different categories need to help get in to expose their type of business to these kids. Obviously, a lot of the kids say, I want to go into racing, right? I want
Yeah.
NASCAR, I want Indy, and
Right.
that's great. And but like, what about the fabricators, and what about the, the detailers and the vinyl, that, the guys that are doing some really cool vinyl wrapping and
Yeah.
PPF coating and all that. Like, so these kids need, they need to see all of it.
Yes.
Not just, oh, I can go work at this one shop or this independent shop or a dealer or
Hmm.
something like that. They need to be exposed to everything. And that'll excite more kids to get them into the industry if they can see and touch and feel and really experience what's out there.
Yeah, it's such a huge industry with so many opportunities. That a lot of opportunities that we never even see.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes. Yes.
all those things behind the scenes that are
Dave,
going on.
Dave, I got invited, or not invited. I just showed up. I'm so weird. I drive around and I walk in the doors. Right now, I get it. Like my wife, my wife, she's like, that's you. Like, my wife and I are complete opposites. She would never go do this, right? And I get it. She thinks like you're just weird, like walking into doors. I will walk into any automotive door, and it's like, I can't wait to see what's behind it, right? And I went into this like classic shop called Street Machinery. Again, it's one of my, and it's on my Instagram as a reel. And I go in, and again, I'm the, what am I? I'm 15 years into this industry, and the first time finally I actually saw a guy fabricating. He was building an engine. Okay.
Mm,
And some of the piping, and I didn't really know what this took. And some of the piping, he was cutting, bending, and welding. And now he was obviously greasy and grimy because he's inside of this engine, right?
yeah,
Oh my gosh, the mathematics, the engineering, the geometry.
yeah.
I guarantee you, he was a heck of a lot smarter than me.
Yep.
Yet our culture looks at him and says, you're kind of at the bottom.
Yeah.
And he's building an engine, and he's building it, like literally building it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need the kids to see this when they're teenagers, not when they're my age at 53.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I always look at the tractor pulling competitions, right?
Yeah.
And those, and right, you've got those machines, and they've got
Yeah.
3 and 4 engines that are on them, right? And people are
Yeah.
like, "Well, yeah, I can pull a lot of weight because it's got 4 engines." Okay, you go get 4 engines to work together and power that vehicle. Like, the
Yes.
engineering that takes, I'm
Yeah.
like, people are looking at tractor pulling like it's a hillbilly sport. That dude is a really smart guy that managed to
Yeah.
put that together.
Totally. You just brought my dad used to take me to tractor pulls as a kid. I would he put the ear because they're so
Oh, yeah.
loud and to cover me up, but you're right though. It's it just I was at our Shelby factory, and all of our trucks are manufactured in Indiana at a factory.
Mm,
And and all the Mustangs come out of Vegas. But I was at our factory the other day, and I walked back into the supercharger prep area.
mm.
Okay, and like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, every high school automotive student needs to come see this, right? And then I said to my engineer, Chris, who's just an unbelievable guy. He talks a complete different language than I do, right? And just the other day, I said to him too. I said, "Hey, how do I get that? How do I get a supercharger prep kit in the back of my truck? Like, so you have the top off. I want it all in pieces, and then as I go around to the schools now I can say, here's my truck. Open it up. It's the 5-liter Coyote supercharged. Look at the supercharger. Looks great. Now let's open up the bed of my truck, and here's the
Mm.
supercharger in pieces. And he's going to train me on how to tell the kids, what's in a supercharger. Because Dave, hey, just between me and you, I don't really know what a supercharger is. And so it's things like that, like we got to get these kids to see, touch, and feel all this cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And make them realize that a supercharger is not just where you park your Tesla to get enough
Oh, right,
fuel
you're
for your
right, you're
truck,
right, you're
right?
right. That's funny. Good point. You're right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
so tell me more about the Ohio Auto Blast.
yeah. This is kind of funny. This is perfect the way you just segued into this because everything I've been saying a few years ago, I'm like, all right, I feel because I'm a neutral party kind of, like I don't work for a dealership. I'm like, oh my gosh, I came back from SEMA. Okay, I finally went to SEMA 2 years ago. Was of course blown away. SEMA is just, and I'm guessing everyone who's listening right now knows SEMA, the Special Equipment Market Association
Yeah.
trade show, right? Expo, where everybody in automotive goes to, and it's so huge, it's completely overwhelming.
Yeah.
But if it's cool, it's there. And
Uh-huh.
I came back and I'm like, oh my gosh, Northeast Ohio needs kind of like a mini SEMA. And so I I'm putting it all together. It's going to be called Auto Blast. My website is ohioautoblast.com. And basically what it's going to be, I've got enough, and it's going to be at high voltage go-karting, which is like an indoor electric go-karting place, which is
Cool.
perfect because it's automotive related.
Yep.
And it's going to be next September. So we've got about 10, 11 months, and it's going to be inside, outside. I've got booth space for about 40-ish automotive businesses, right? And so what I envision, and I've already got about 6 or 7 commitments. There's going to be just a couple of every category of automotive. So just a couple automotive dealerships, a couple independent shops, a couple tire shops, collision shops, and then we're getting into the niche cool stuff, right? An
Mm.
on-site vehicle wrapper with some really cool different type of wrapping, of high-end vehicle wrapping, um, fabrication. I'm going to have an engine stand there, and I don't know if the guy's actually going to be welding but I'm going to have a grinder there, right? And I'm going to have
Yeah.
the welder holding there, and racing, right? Shelby's going to have something there. You get there's like 3 or 4 racing companies in Northeast Ohio. I hope to have 1 or 2 of them there at least.
Awesome.
And if I can have a little bit of just a couple of everything that's in automotive there, and I'm going to target about 300 schools, like elementary, middle school, and high school and beyond, and their parents.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like the first 250 kids that register, which the registration is not going to open until probably next summer, but the first 250 get a free, go-kart ride. Goodie bags are going to be incredible with tools. And anyways, I'm going to have a DJ there, right? I'm going to have just excitement. It's going to be really, really, really cool and fun. And what a great opportunity for all these businesses to
Yeah.
really showcase their talents, meet
Hmm.
their potential employees, and also sell vehicles or sell their products to the parents, right?
Right. Right. That's
So,
terrific. I love that idea. Love it.
yeah. So I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a good time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Mike, this has been a great conversation. Believe it or not, this it has been almost an hour already.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Terrific to have you here with us.
Yeah.
Where's the best place for people to go and find more about you and what you do?
Really, it's on Instagram at Ohio Tech Group is where I kind of put all the stuff that I do on there, and then ohioautoblast.com is my event, and my emails is in there, and they can direct message me on Instagram or send me an email from the website, and I really do encourage like if there are dealerships or just anybody in the service industry, whoever's listening, general managers, if they want advice or just to talk for 10 minutes or something, I'm open, man, like open book, right? I love communicating, connecting with people. And I mean, networking is just the biggest, best thing that anybody can do. And I'm always open to it. So people can please reach out just to have dialogue. Yeah.
That is terrific. And again, I'm grateful for your time today.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Right. Another exciting show we had today. I'm ready to get out there and get my Bronco juiced up and then head to some schools to get some more youth into this great industry. And I hope everyone else is too. Mike, again,
Great.
thank for you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And quick announcement: I need everybody to go over to YouTube and to subscribe to the Fixed Ops Mastermind channel, and then go to Spotify or wherever else you listen to your podcast and subscribe there too, so you never miss a minute of the knowledge and excitement that we have with guests like Mike. Until next week, see ya.